Welcome. So this is another part of the method development. So we will do an exercise. Uh, so this exercise, we will evaluate a method section giving the final proposal rubric. Uh, so this is just like an example. I have two examples for you. You can do any of them. But here, this is your final proposal rubric. This is how you're going to be graded. And I want you to like, let's look at the rubric itself. Yeah. If you look here at the rubric. So that's basically how you will, clarity and organization. So that has to do with how well organized your method is and how clarity that also has to do with instructiveness, like, because if it's not if it's not clear, it's not going to be instructive. Yeah. And then reliability, we know about reliability means like, can these methods that we are proposing suitable and appropriate to answer our research question or our research objectives. And then here, this is like details like appropriateness of data collection method. Data collection method are well justified. So we talked about this, appropriate for the research objective and clearly explained. And the validity of the data analysis method. Data analysis method are also appropriate, valid, and clearly described. And we provided example for this, like, for example, like you're proposing to do like linear regression or p-value or whatever. This, for example, like linear regression is based on the assumption of sum of the least square, which means that my data should be like normal, residual should be normally distributed, independent, and with constant variance. So did I satisfy this assumption or not? Something like this. And reproducibility. And we talked about this reproducibility, which is ability to reproducibility, which is ability follow like your research step by step and like reproduce or replicate your work. There is a difference between reproducibility and replicability. So replicability is generally like reproducibility might sometimes it's not, like, for example, like I'm developing an Earth system model and I'm make like presenting this in a research paper, like how I developed this Earth system model. In that case, reproducibility might not be exactly what you are shooting for, but you are more shooting for replicability. Yeah, like you can replicate this work, not exactly reproduce it. Yeah, but you can, yeah, you can see the difference. Like you can, for example, chat with like generative AI and see the difference between reproducibility and replicability. But in this class, we are expecting you're not doing something like, I think anything you're doing can be reproduced. So for like the type of research that you're doing, most of it, yeah. So that's what we are expecting from reproducibility. And then ethical consideration, and we will talk about this, yeah. And okay, so that is basically part. Remember, like this is how your proposal looks like. So the method has 20 points. So 20 points of your final grade would be depend on the method section. And this is the for this 20 points, this is how these 20 points are breakdown. So if you sum this, that will sum up to 100 points. Yeah. Okay, so this is this one. So here you have you don't have to do these two exercises, you just select any of them. So this one is for like a research proposal about red tide and public health. Uh, yeah, here, I mean, you can also find, you can find like this. I make like a web version of it, but you don't need the web version. You can just uh, look at the full proposal. So uh, here is the proposal. So that's like the proposal, you can download it. And in this proposal, I want you to review the method section and grade it. Like if you were a grader and not just grade it, but like provide like a review, like your review comments, like full evaluation, like you evaluate it and also provide a grade. Yeah, provide a review and grade for this method section. So here is not big. It's like only like 2 pages. Yeah. So if I would print this, the method section will be just 2 pages. Yeah. And here's this figure. So evaluate it and provide a peer review evaluation and for it. So that's like is grade the method section, use the method grading rubric to assign a score, post your so you assign a score first and then you post your review report. In your review report, provide the score and detailed justification for this score and explain how well developed is the method section. Like, is it instructive? Is it credible? Is it reproducible? Is there any missing thing? And again, this is not perfect. There's one big missing things from this message section. So if you gave me like a full mark in each of these ones, and I will know you're doing something wrong because there one of these section, I'm not gonna tell you which one, but one of these six criteria, one of is totally missing. Yeah, so you need to figure it out and say that this one is missing. So I'm sure I will not get the full mark here. Yeah, that's and then highlight drawbacks and area of improvement and be critical, and then that's task one. Task two, peer discussion. Now, here you are a reviewer, here you are an editor. So carefully study at least 2 review reports submitted by classmates. Reply to each classmate stating whether you agree or disagree with their assessment. Provide a clear and constructive rationale for your position and be critical. So you can do this with this research proposal about red tide and public health. Or you can do this with this research paper about generative AI in higher education. So interestingly enough, this paper is not published yet. It's still under review. Yeah. So here, I mean, you can download it. It's better maybe to download it. So you can click here to download it. So actually, this paper is under review, and so like some reviewers are now doing what I'm asking you to do. So are doing like your job now. So like you send it to the journal, the editor, the handling editor will take the paper. He will look at it. If he signed this a good paper that's suitable for the journal, he will send it to peer review. If he finds that this does not align with the journal scope or not at a good quality, he will reject the paper. Like it's called like desk rejection. Like just it's got rejected before even going to peer review. And then like the peer review will look at this and they will evaluate it. Like they will evaluate the full paper. Like here, I just want you to evaluate the message section. So here is the message section. So I just want you to grade it. First part, like you grade it, and then you provide like your review comments and see like how critical you be, like how be like a critical reviewer or a, like or and very aggressive or like kind reviewers. Yeah, we will see. But anyway, so you like so here's the message section. So, and this message section will be very different because here I started like what I'm doing here. Like in this paper, I'm comparing like how an upgrade in generative AI. Like I want to look at the future of AI. Like when this AI, how will AI change education in the future, higher education in the future? So one way to study this is like you just look at one upgrade, like how did this one upgrade it change the student learning? How did it improve or affected the student learning? So the study design basically is that I will compare like I'm like for this class I will compare 2 cohorts. So like the 2024 and the 2025, this is the number of students at each cohort, and I will like keep everything constant. The only thing that will change will be the new upgrade, like for the example, like this cohort they were using ChatGPT 3.5. For this cohort they were using ChatGPT 4.0. For example, like they could use any other tool, but this is just an example. So this is the study design. This is the course context. I explained the course context, course participant and baseline equivalence. So here one like see this is also could be part of your method because one of the reviewer could say, oh, you know, like this change in performance could be because the two student bodies are different. So here I'm establishing that these two students body like for these two cohorts are very similar. So any difference in performance would be just due to the tool and not due to the student, like the composition or of the student. And here I'm describing the upgrade from this one from 2024 to 2025. So this is was in January 24, this is in January 25. That's how this tool's improved. And then how do I assess the student and the performance matrix? So you see this is the assessment framework, this is the performance matrix survey instruments. So you see, like here I'm conducting a survey. These are the survey questions that I need to answer my research questions and objectives. So these are the survey instruments, these are the survey question, and this is how I analyze the data. So I'm explaining how I analyze the data. Sentiment analysis, how I conduct is the sentiment analysis, systematic coding, and the help seeking ranking. And that's it. So I just want you to read this and then provide your evaluations. You can either do this one or this one. See, this one is organized differently. This one is organized by theme. So here I explain the method. So I'm explaining the model and how this research will be conducted, what has been done before, like some pilot results here I'm providing. I'm explaining a conceptual diagram to show like the methods, and so that's one part of it, like, and then the second part is the data. So this is the data that I will be collecting. So here this is the ed visit data, this is the data, this is where I will collect this data and the data limitation and so forth. So for each one I'm explaining the data. Okay, so select any of these exercises and then do so. And think, like, remember, this is fun thing. Like, don't see this as a burden or something. Like, this is a fun thing. Like, uh, you are. I mean, I this paper is under review. Like, maybe when I get the review comments, I can share them with you, and like you can compare like your review comments versus like professional like or experienced reviewer comments. I can share the review comments when I get like from the journal, yeah, and then you can compare it with yours. But yeah, you are like you will be like so you review my work, you will give me like feedback so that can help me to improve my work, and then in the second part, you will be an editor. So you will read the reviewer comment and you will say, okay, I mean, you're a good reviewer, you're not a good reviewer. I agree with this, I disagree with that. So you'll be you also be an editor, like, and you can provide decision, like, so this paper be accepted for publication or should it be rejected? Yeah. So the editor, like the reviewer provide recommendations, the editor make decisions. So that's part of what the trainings that you should be getting in this course. Yeah. So you did this already before in the introduction. Now you're going to do it in the methods section. Yeah. And I think this is good. And think again, this is fun activities. Don't think this is not a burden. This is like you're posting in Facebook and your friend will respond to your post. See it in this way. Okay. So that's all. And see you in the next video.